Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Joleen.
Yeah, we're back from TV Australia. This week was so good.
So good.
So good. But first, if you guys are new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to join our Patreon, you can check that out. Links are around places. But yay, Joleen, I'm so glad you're here.
Yes,
We got to talk through this because some fun stuff happened this week. Hi, everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for joining us.
What a week.
What a week. What a week I'm having. Does anyone know what movie that's from? I'm just
What a week of it now.
What a week I'm having. I'm going to give them just a minute to see if they can figure that out. Okay, we're going to start with episode 16 because we're going to cover all this week, which was 16, 17, and 18. And a lot happened. We start at the top of episode 16 with Sophie being worried about Matt and Dan, and that just kind of set us up for the week. This is just the theme because she's concerned, and Chad says, don't overthink it.
Chad is ruining Sophie's game, and Sophie is letting him. And I know Chad's adorable and he's kind, but he's also very naive. Not a gamer. He's not reading the room, seeing what's happening. Those abs are blinding her. And she needs to go with her gut. And this is what we see, Sarah. I say this every week. What do I say? Women on Big Brother, don't get influenced by the men, please, or your showman.
I try so hard to not do that. Yeah, I just was thinking, thank goodness you're cute, Chad, because there's not a lot else happening up there.
No, it's all in the middle.
Kieran is sitting in the lounge room explaining his game to everyone, which is hilarious because they're all still in the game. What are you doing there, buddy?
This kid is the most excited person I've ever seen play the game of Big Brother.
I think that's why we love them, is because we can relate. We love the game.
It's so endearing. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Maureen in the chat said Chad is the Australian Fessy, and I can't go that far. That's a real rough, Maureen. That's a real rough.
That's pretty close, Maureen. Who flipped? What do you mean these two super strong strategic dudes are not going to bring a showman to the final? I think Maureen is very close.
Well, we do see Matt and Dan discussing here that they want to break up Chad and Sophie. They are talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Dan realizing that as annoying as Kieran is, he needs him as a number. Needs to be able to use him. Matt has been working on Kieran this whole season, I believe, is what I've seen. And we see him sitting in the bedroom, still doing it, working his magic on Kieran, talking about breaking up this showmance. Then we get a challenge. They call it the power booth, and you can.
Oh, that was fun. That was so fun.
Do you get a reward if it's pink, or you can give someone a disadvantage if it's blue? They got so many disadvantages, rarely any rewards. And like 75% of them went to Kieran. Poor
and
Kieran.
All went to Kieran because this whole episode was basically people so tired of Kieran not doing household work and being dirty. And I loved the little montage they had of him waking up, making his coffee, just messing it up, leaving the spoon because he's a mama's boy. And he's very much, he's what is he? I think we said he was 23 and he doesn't have to do these chores. And he was just like, well, maybe some people are cleaner than others, or what? That's not an Australian accent, but Foster's Australian for beer. Maybe some people are cleaner than others. So I always have to do that. Okay. But it was very funny because I have like male friends of Chell and I who are in their 30s who come over to, when they come to our house, they're like that. And most of them are from my home state of Minnesota, because I think that's that kind of mentality that some of the parents and moms, my mom included, where just do everything. So sometimes the male members of the family don't learn how to load a dishwasher, don't know how everything gets clean. They just think there's a magic clean fairy. And I think that's Kieran. So it's got to be
Kieran
so
had a magic
annoying.
clean fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would be so hard. It's so crazy because he's like early 20s. The chat says 21, but Sarah is 19 and she's been in the military and she knows how to take care of herself. Like, huge difference. She's younger. But Kieran said, he's like, yeah, I mean, like, if I just put something down, I know my mom's going to pick it up.
That's like, so, if you're a parent, which I'm not, so I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to say it. Don't do that to your adult kid because you're really hurting them in the long run, because Kieran needs to learn. Now he's, you guys, me and Sarah learned some information. I forgot who sent it to me. I apologize that Kieran was playing kissy face with Hannah, and that was his first kiss. So Kieran, it looks like you got game because Hannah is awesome and beautiful. And so now you need to know how to pick up, because you're not going to keep a gal like Hannah if you don't know how to wash your own underpants, you know?
Yeah. If you ever plan on leaving your mom's house, you do have to have the skill set. And I did think it was interesting that he was like, I'm here to play the game, not like do housework. And I was like, oh, you're kind of missing the whole social game part.
It's a huge part of the social game is not pissing people off and annoying them to the point of where I want to give the person who sent me the information.
Oh, you're looking it up. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to not make eye contact. I'm just like, I don't want to be that person, because they sent it to me and they're like, did you know this? And I was like, no.
Right. Okay. So we heard, someone sent it to you. And then I did look it up and I found that Hannah and he kissed in the box.
Yeah. Ron, RAWAN, sent it to me in the DMs on Instagram. And I was so grateful to get this information. And I immediately text Sarah and I said, Kieran and Hannah tongue kissed. Like, I assume they tongue kiss. I don't know.
I assumed there was no tongue.
You're probably right, Sarah. It was probably really PG, but Kieran's just like, oh.
Yeah, so we need Kieran to get some life skills so that he and Hannah can be an adorable couple. And okay, so so like you said, this is all about Kieran needing to learn some life skills. So what do? They make him the house dishwasher. He has to clean all the dishes. He has to pick everything up.
They make a mess. Like, Dan and them have so much fun. And I think it's very well deserved. It's a good, especially when I think it was Sarah who said he's been nominated more times than he's done the dishes in the house. And this is like day 30, 39 or whatever. So, I think that was in good fun. I like how they were just like messing everything up. And he's like, well, where's the soap? Like, he was washing a dish, Sarah, without soap.
He's thought they didn't have soap. I mean, that's how out of it he is. He's been in this house it's been more than 30 days at this point, and he didn't know where the soap was. I mean, that's a bad, bad sign. Now, hey guys, we love Kieran. We've been supporting him and defending him this whole time, but this is hilarious. And when they messed up the kitchen, I thought it was so funny. And I see nothing wrong with Kieran having to wash dishes.
It was in good fun. There was no, like, if there was a bullying aspect to it, I wouldn't have liked it. But I like to see that kind of, it's almost like a fish out of water situation where he's like, well, how does this get dirty? You know? And it was just silly and fun.
I thought so too. I want to say that I did a little bit of digging because next week is the finale. So I was looking up everything I could. And Dan and Matt are getting huge hate, and people are calling that bullying. What they did in the kitchen. Yes.
That's you guys, there's a point where it is, I will be the person to say it. It's a little too much, because there are people who are seriously bullied in this world. And when we just start putting everything onto bullying, then it doesn't mean anything then. Do you know what I mean? And so and I'm someone who, Sarah especially, is very empathetic towards, you hate to say it about yourself. I'm so empathetic, you guys. I'm like the most empathetic. But you know what I mean? Like, we're not bullies. I mean, sometimes I do impressions of people and people think that's bullying, but
we will point it out. We will call you a bully and we will say, stop it.
We don't kick down. Like, you don't kick down. And I feel like they would have been kicking down had they done what bullying is. Here's a prime example, you guys, if you want to know the difference of what's going on here. So you have Kieran, who played a game where you could pick, someone to do the chores, and he was the person not doing the chores.
Yeah.
So then they were kind of like messing with him a little bit because it's like, here's what we've had to put up with, here's what we have to clean. Now that's fun, all in fun. What's not all in fun is if you go back to BB21, not to go back again, and you see someone like Ovi, and Ovi thought that Jack and Jerkson were his buddies, and then behind his back they go, hey, what's up, boss? And then they go, a-hole or whatever, douchebag. That's bullying. That's what happened to Nicole up in the HOH room that season. That's bullying. It's not bullying for him to do a little bit of. Are people really saying that?
Yes, we can circle back to that at the end because it doesn't look good for Matt and Dan what the internet is saying.
Like really, I mean, I don't know. Are they like Soup's PC or something?
I mean, I don't know, but and it's always the angry people who are louder than the not angry people. So
I don't know. We just call
out all the people who think it's okay.
We call out bullying all the time on our version of Big Brother, which is just horrendous. So when I've been watching Australia, I've been I think you too, Sarah, I've been like, this is refreshing to see that they're actually, I know we're getting an edited version, but I feel like they're actually they're not
problematic at all is what I thought. I was like, what a clean cast they got over here.
If anything, their cast just needs more diversity, but I don't know the cultural demographic numbers in Australia, but it would be nice to see more diversity. That's all I could say.
Well, I agree with Maureen that when Dan was standing by the door and not able to participate, that also was hilarious. I love Big Brother messing with them. That's just hilarious.
Oh, was Dan getting bullied then? Do you know what I mean? Like they were totally putting him in that position and I loved it. And even when Kieran was like, please don't pick me again. Please don't pick me again. She didn't pick him. Right? Isn't that when she picked Dan?
That's when, Sophie gives it to Dan. Mm-hmm. Sarah finally gets a reward. She gets KFC. Chad gets a jar of gummy candies. Kieran gets pizza. Yeah, so Kieran got enough. Dan got one. It was fun. Chad and Sarah had to swap clothes. That was funny.
That was fun. I think Bethy's saying in the chat, I don't like, she says that they call him thick. Yes. I think that's just their call. That's like, cause he said he's playing down his intelligence and he's playing like he's dumb. So I think they're speaking on that rather than size. And maybe Bethy already knows that. But when he did leave, he said, I'm thick.
Yeah, he actually came up with that nickname and has been defending them. I missed Big Brother episodes. Kieran's been denying that they were bullying him, although he says like it does hurt to hear what some of them are saying in the diary room. But he said he came up with the nickname Thick, just trying to endear himself with the group.
Yeah, I remember him saying that.
One hand, like I don't want him to like make fun of himself to feel like that's how you fit in. Like that's sad. Mm-hmm. But we do have to give, he's the one who came up with it. So
yeah. And but it's a good quality to be like self-deprecating. And maybe that's just because I'm a comedian and that's all I do all the time. And it does win people over. It's a great social strategy. But some people with big hearts who might be watching, because even when I do self-deprecating jokes, people are like, no, Joleen, you're great. And I'm like, no, it's not that I don't like myself. It's just, this is my sense of humor. This is what I do,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so interesting. We love you, Kieran. You're killing it. You're doing great.
Sarah and Sophie discuss that they need to get rid of either Dan or Matt when they're eating together their little KFC meal in the diary room, but we don't see that come together. On the Nom challenge, they are standing on like a springboard type thing. I think they call it a wobble board, and they're balancing a ball on a disc. It seems super, super hard. Kieran earned a disadvantage in this. So he's got 2 balls on there. Not that it matters because Kieran's going to be out super, super quick. No matter how many balls.
He's out early every competition and he says it, this looked like a very hard competition. I thought for sure Dan had it.
Yes, right. It was so funny because it gets down to Dan and Chad, and Dan is like doing his magic. He's been solid the whole time, and he's like, "Chad, sure. Oh yeah, whatever you say. Yeah, 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 yeah." And then he drops it while he's trying to make a deal. Like Chad's
Right?
about to step down.
Well, and he was telling Chad, you just play dumb. Like basically, I'll take care of your problem. Your
Yeah,
problem being Sophie.
right. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
not a problem. So Chad got super, super lucky there. Julie B, thank you so much for the super chat. And yes, Big Brother Network,
We love
they
Julie Bear.
put me in their blog today. That was
NBD, Sarah. Oh my gosh.
um,
Was it your pictures?
it was. They put in that picture. I drove by the Big Brother house, US Big Brother house, and posted
There's
a picture.
stuff happening.
There is stuff happening, you guys. It's if LA doesn't get locked down,
I
we're
feel, aren't
gonna
we
have it.
already kind of? Because they closed bars, restaurants, hair salons.
But they haven't closed production down yet.
Oh, TV production, yes, is still open. You're right. Mm-hmm.
So as long as that sticks, they'll keep working. We'll see. Okay, so yeah, Chad gets super, super lucky. He wins, and he goes into that nomination room ready to get rid of Kieran. Bless you.
Chad.
Because that's what Chad's buying everything that Dan and Matt are saying to his face, even though it's not really what they're thinking.
Yeah.
So he puts Kieran up, and he puts Matt up next to him as a safe vote, as they call it.
This was so dumb. I thought I was so mad when I saw Chad do this. I wanted to just go through the TV and bless you, Chad. Go through the computer and be like, Chad, I need you right now. I need you. Putting Kieran up is just a waste because Kieran, you need to break up that power duo. You have to put them both up so one goes home for sure because they don't have the power of veto. So this is perfect, Chad. Did Chad really think these two were just like, yes, we are taking this loving couple all the way to the end with his girlfriend who can beat us in comps?
Yeah. That is the world that Chad was living in. And here we are. But honestly, I was like, he doesn't matter what delusional world Chad's living in because he has to put up one of them. He puts Matt up, and Sarah and Sophie are the ones that get to decide. So I'm thinking this is when the ladies just swoop in there and they make the move and say, sorry, Chad, you didn't figure it out, but we did.
Mm-hmm. And we thought, well, I didn't get in this episode. So I feel like there's so many missed opportunities. Again, it's edited, so we don't get to, watch them campaigning and on the live right before or whatever. But it didn't seem like Sophie was really trying to sell it to Sarah. I would have pulled her aside and been like, girl, we're going down. It's a sinking lady ship. Okay. Like our ovaries are not going to float to the top on this one. We got to take the big guy out, pull Kieran in with us. Then we go after Dan. Then we all battle it out in the finals. But she was just like doing a makeup, like, so they're both doing the makeup. Maybe we should. And Sarah's like, I don't know. I'm 19. Yeah. And Sophie's like, I'm a gymnast. And they're both like, I'm confused. And then they didn't do anything. I was just like, I love you, Sarah. And Sophie, you're okay.
It was confusing because we had just seen them in the diary room eating together saying, we got to get those guys out. Like we have to break them up. So when Sophie's tiptoeing around Sarah, I'm so confused. And again, it's edited. So obviously we don't have all the information here, but it looked to me like Sarah or that Sophie didn't think Sarah was really on board to split up the guys.
She didn't. And those two being close, it's been this little threesome for a while. I mean, I know that Sarah always, you're always going to feel like an outsider with a showmance. But if anything, if I was Sarah, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, Sophie, yeah. If we're talking about, girls and breaking this up for sure. So why isn't there more trust there between them? Because, Sophie really was like, I think that Sarah might flip and then the sole vote will be on me and then they'll come after me. But that shouldn't even be a question. You two should be on the exact same page.
Yes, they should. And they seemed like they were. They're the only two girls. They're very close friends. So it was super confusing that we weren't seeing a big like kumbaya. And
Mhm.
then I'm just like still sitting through the eviction, waiting to like figure out which way they're going to go. And then it's unanimously Kieran.
And Sarah, historically on this show, has been very easy to convince.
Yes.
Everyone else has been able to do it, but maybe because Sophie and Sarah are similar personality types, Sophie's maybe, she's not pushy like some of the other
Right.
people, or more assertive
Mhm.
like some of the other people were, I
Right.
should say, because it doesn't mean they're pushy. But yeah, it was so disappointing, Sarah. I was so disappointed. I was
real disappointed and at first I was like, I'm rooting for these people, but I will always root for gameplay over like, I don't really get even though I have like kind of favorites, I'm not going to root for my favorites if they're just blowing their game. So yes, I've rooted for Sarah and Sophie, but when I see them make this decision, I get super disappointed and I'm just like, you're giving Matt and Dan the game. So I can't hate on Matt and Dan because they're doing a darn good job.
At this
But
point, I was like yelling out, like, go. Yeah. I hope you beat them, Matt and Dan, because these people do not deserve to play this game.
But I do feel like there was, because during this eviction, the housemates get confirmation from Sonia that it's a final 3. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of talking about like their insurance and all these payers in the house and Sarah sitting there by herself. And so I kind of think that this might have been a decent move on Sarah's part, that it might not have paid so much to get rid of Matt and break up that duo, because then she's sitting pretty as the third wheel if they get rid of Kieran. So I wondered if that's what Sarah was thinking, because that is a decent strategy.
That's a good point. I just am when I heard Sarah say, I didn't feel like, because I watched the extended Noms video on the 7+, and Sarah said when she was voting, or the extended vote, that she's like, I just don't feel like I can play with Kieran, like I could pull along any further. And I'm thinking, well, why not? You're both kind of on the outskirts. No matter how annoying you think he is or how much you don't have in common. And I know Sarah's a teenager. Literally, she said in this episode when she was like, I'm a teenager. I'm like, oh my God, you are a teenager. She is. But I wish she would have had a little bit of foresight in that moment to go, but it's perfect in Big Brother when you have these side alliances with people that you don't expect. I feel like they could be still with, 6 left. They could be very sneakily working with each other. But the fact that they just hang out there and they're just on the outskirts and they're not gravitating toward each other is so strange to me.
It's strange to us because we're expecting some strategy. And I just don't know if Australia, thinks that way or wants to play that way.
But Dan is in it.
Dan is in it. Matt is in it. That's why I support them. Like, I think that they've played this game from the beginning. Kieran has tried. I know that. I mean, yes, the whole bullying thing aside, I think a lot of people just haven't liked that sort of alpha clique in general. Like, we even talked about it in the beginning.
It gets old seeing a bromance after bromance after bromance go through all the seasons and iterations of Big Brother. But like you said, if they're playing the game, they're playing the game.
Yeah. So Kieran is out unanimously, but dun, 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 they stop him in the hall and they're like, you're not evicted, yo. And he enters the white room.
Ooh.
Okay. This is a new twist to us, but apparently this has been done in Australia before.
Okay.
Then, so the top of the next episode, we get a little bit more detail. It is a white room with red buzzers and everything is white. Everything you're going to eat, the clothes he has to put on is white. Everything is white. And apparently it is like a sensory deprivation type torture chamber type thing that he has to live in there with the chance that he could possibly go back into the game. But if he can't handle it, he can hit the red buzzer at any time.
It was very obviously sterile, uninspiring, and almost like you were in some kind of place you'd go to for mental issues, you know?
Yeah. Now, would you go crazy in this? I didn't even realize this was a crazy maker.
Yeah, I think I would, especially by myself. Once
Yeah.
I would get a friend, I'd be a lot happier. But all by myself, talking to myself, there's no color, there's nothing stimulating, just eating like white rice. I hate milk. Like I historically don't really like white foods.
Uh-huh.
Like what's a good white food besides ice cream? Mashed potato, I guess I do like white food, but just a few things. You
They
know what I
had white
mean?
cheese in there. Cheese is
No.
good. I
Cheese
don't
is
eat
good,
cheese,
but maybe like brie.
yeah. I think I would have done just fine. This is not something that you can lock me in a room by myself. I talk to myself all the time. I am my own best friend. I will entertain myself all day, every day. I mean, yeah, it's going to get annoying just looking at white after a while. But I don't feel like that would have broke me.
No, I think you would do really well. And it's Sarah, because I feel like do you like meditate or do yoga? I feel like you can center yourself. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not a centered individual. Every time I've tried, it's like, I've even tried apps, and they were Australian voiced apps. And I just got jealous of the person doing the voice work on the app. I was like, oh, that's a good gig. Why don't I have that gig? Like, why I'm meditating? I'm jealous of the person. So I think I would be like Faithy is saying, I would have anxiety and I would feel panic and I would feel like the world was kind of caving in on me.
Yeah, I guess that's a fairly common thing. And I think Kieran really struggled just not being able to talk to anybody. I think that was the biggest thing. He obviously needs stimulation. Would like to sit and talk to a room. So not having anyone to work off of.
I strangely feel very like the way Kieran kind of works. I relate a lot to Kieran. How he walks around the house, just like I feel like I would lose it in a Big Brother house like that, where I would be like, yeah, my game. And I also have ADHD, so I would be like, you guys look at this, I'm doing this, because that's what Kel puts up with. He's like, yeah, Joleen, I saw you do this. I'm like, but it went like this time. So I get Kieran. I get him.
Wow. Now we know more about Joleen. Oh boy. Well, not only is Kieran going nutso in his white room, day 35 in the house is completely just cleared up. There's nothing there. There's no seats. There's no nothing. And this actually puts the rest of them into the cuckoo band. They are just like, what's happening? Throwing themselves on the floor as well. And they look like they're losing their minds just as much.
I thought that was a little dramatic because they could still go outside. They still had food. They had a large space. They had a restroom. I mean,
yeah, come on. You can't sit on a couch? Oh, no.
Yeah. Sarah was really freaking out.
She was. When she said, she was like, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. I need to sit on something. I was like, Sarah.
She was like, but she's at that point, I think, in the game where she's like, no more shenanigans. Let's get to the final.
Yes. Still, Chad not stressed. He totally trusts the guys. I made a note here, though, that at least he doesn't tell Sophie what to do.
But he does, because through like emotional manipulation, he's got his arm around her like, you trust me, right? And I know what's best for you. So he does. Yeah, but I think it's unconscious, because I think that's a lot of times with men, they're kind of, they don't even know they're
baby, trust me.
Yes.
It's okay.
They're conditioned to believe that their ideas are the best ideas a lot of times. It's not even their fault. It's just society tells them, you probably know better than her. And then they tell us, he probably knows better than me. And then we lay on his hot, tight abs, and then we ruin our game. And that's what happens.
Yeah. Stay away from the hot, tight abs. Yeah.
Yes.
They're dangerous. Okay. This non-challenge, I thought this one was really, really cool. They are attached to a weight. It's 70% of their weight. And they have to pull it. There's 3 lock boxes. They're opening. They got to find a key. They got a huge janitor key ring. Yeah. I got to open it up. And then they have to do a puzzle. And like Dan is just off to a great start from the beginning.
I never would have guessed when we first started watching that Dan would be able to put a puzzle together. Is that he
I know.
strike me as that type. So, but it was a puzzle of him. So I think
He's like,
that,
what do I know? I know what this looks like.
I know me.
I can put that together for sure.
He
I think
killed
he got lucky with his key.
Mhm.
I think those keys are just down to luck. It took Chad forever to get his key, so he's just out of it from the get-go. But you know what? Honestly, I was rooting for Dan to win at this point because I was like, Chad and Sophie kind of need to be woken up. They don't get it. And if they win, what, Sarah's just going to go out? And I'm not okay with that.
I believe they probably would do that. Like I don't even think they put the two dudes together up. They would break it up and put Sarah. And you're totally right. At this point, again, my frustration level was so high that I'm like, burn it all down, Dan and Matt. Take it home. Because how many times do Sophie and Chad have to be woken up to this fact?
Right. Yeah. And, you know, like they point out later, they've been doing a lot of dirty work for Dan and Matt, and they don't even see what they're doing. So, yeah, Dan ultimately wins this. Now, Sarah and Sophie were close, and I was like hoping Sarah would win something. But when it came down to it, I was like, just take it, Dan. So he noms Sarah and Sophie, and we hate to see it when the only two females are sitting up there. But of course, that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. And Sophie is a far bigger threat than Chad, because Chad, I don't even think after what we're just about to talk about, Chad really knew what happened, even though he said he did. He still was just like, I'm just going to be cool. Going to do sit-ups. And I was like, Chad, come on.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Of the two, you definitely put Sophie up. And if you're still pretending like you have a foursome and this is just the pawn, basically, then yeah, you put Sarah up to make it look like we're not going after you two, but they're obviously going after you two. Now they do some great acting here moving forward, because Chad's like, wait a minute, this isn't a final four? This doesn't seem right. Because Matt's like, oh, I don't know what to do. And Chad's like, I don't think it's a thought. But Matt apparently is worried, because so is this when Australia would go, oh no, Matt went against his word, we can't vote for you? Is that a thing?
I don't know, but if it is, like, that's going to make it so hard for these players to play any kind of game, because you can't stay completely honest. I don't think there has ever been a completely honest Big Brother winner in the US where it's very strategic.
Yeah. Why would you
or
even
you play?
Yeah. David and I are rewatching BB7 right now, and Kaser just got evicted, and he was like, I tried to play an honest game. And I'm like, what? Why?
Because
what are you doing?
Well, it's frustrating because he tried that in 6 and it didn't work. And he left his finger off the buzzer, and what did whatever her name is do to him? She snaked him.
Jen.
Jen, that's the game.
Such a snake, but she's playing the game. Like, I don't understand when someone sits up there and they're like, I came in here trying to play an honest game. And then I'm just like, well, then you're on the wrong show. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, this isn't like Big Bible. This is Big Brother.
It is not at all. So yeah, Matt, it looks like Matt is going through this moral dilemma, and it looks like Dan, because Dan's like hoping those guys just work it out and I don't have to break this tie. And I'm like, they are acting, right? Like,
he doesn't want blood on his hands.
Sure. You don't want blood on your hands, but obviously Chad's going to keep Sophie, and obviously you guys want her gone. So you're going to have to do it. It does look like Matt is struggling during the eviction room. Again, I don't know if all this is acting, but Sarah's so cute and so positive that she can't even talk up her game. Like, Sophie's like, this is a dream. Like, I want to be here and I'd hate for it to end. And Sarah's like, we all have dreams. We all have hard times.
Sophie was doing the most. She was doing way too much in this. And didn't get to the Olympics. Girl, I mean, you got pretty far, and that's really great. And yes, but it was just, for me, it's a no. That her whole speech, I love that Sarah stepped up and was like, yeah, well, I got problems too. Okay. I'm up to Dan's waist. Like, I have issues. Like, everyone's got a story, but that Sophie just kind of strikes me as someone who she just kind of does think it kind of revolves around her and Chad, the world.
Well, I do think she's an emotional person. Like we've seen her tear up before, but I also do think that was her only play at this point, right? To pull at Matt's heartstrings so much and Dan's that they keep their final four. Like that's all the play she has at this point.
And that just shows that she never really, that making that final four was not a good idea. And she never really knew them because neither Matt or Dan would be pulled by that story, nor were they. They've been planning for weeks to get Sophie out, you know?
Yeah. I mean, technically she didn't make the final four deal, but she did talk about it later. So
yeah, Chad. Freaking Chad. Oh,
Chad.
man.
Chad and Dan. Like Matt didn't even make the deal. It looked like.
Sophie and Matt should have went and formed their own final two and snaked those two.
Well, this was very dramatic because Sarah does get 1 vote. Sophie gets 1 vote. It is tied. And Dan, acting surprised and upset, has to go into the diary room to cast his vote. But obviously, if your mate votes one way, you're going to vote with him. So even if he was hating that, he's obviously going to go that way. And so Sophie is voted out. And Chad's like, what happened? This is totally Fessy. This is who flipped.
It's so Fessy. Was it Maureen who said it? Maureen, you were so right. You're so on point. Chad is no better of a player than Fessy. The only thing Chad has is, I think, more comp wins. But if we look at Fessy now on the challenge, he's a lot better competition-wise. So,
but Chad also has a really cute Aussie accent.
Well, Chad, I mean, they're both attractive dudes. But yeah, they're on the same level of their big brother play. It's not good. It's not great.
It is not great. But guess what, you guys? Sophie's walking down the hall, and what? Stop! Go into this room. And I love that Kieran's like hiding behind the door and scares her as she enters this like terrifying white room.
It was so creepy when he was like, hi.
She's like, ah! Love it. So she is in the white room with him, and now they both get to go cry together. Yay!
Yay!
Okay, episode 18. Sophie gets the lowdown on the white room, and Chad, he does say he figured it out. He sees what happened.
Now, Chad, thank you for showing up to the party, to the game. He's like, wait a minute. I think you guys hurt my girl I cuddle with.
Oh, Chad, he is ready for revenge, but with a smile on his face, which, hey, I'm all for that. I'm all for laugh along with them and cut them in their backs.
I secretly hoped that he just, because I was like, oh, you've awakened the dragon now, you know, and instead he played the other hand, which is, I'm going to just pretend it's all okay. So I'm not a target, you know, because I do think that from what Dan and Matt have said, they would take Chad because Sarah has a way better chance of winning. Chad has no chance. People would be like, who is Chad? Oh, the hot guy. Yeah, he's hot, but no, we're not voting for him.
I think that's true. I think you put those 3 bros together, then it's kind of even. If you put 2 bros and a cute little girl together, she might pull the votes. You know, I don't know how Australia votes, but I think that's a valid.
I think you're right. I think she would, because this little Sarah overcoming so many obstacles going against these big dudes. I think the audience might look and go, wow, you know, she did that. So,
yeah. And honestly, if Chad blew up and like pissed them off, then he would know he's definitely a target. And so playing it safe right now isn't awful for him to do.
It's just boring to watch as a viewer.
Sure. Their furniture is back. All of that was kind of weird. I don't know. Was that supposed to be something else? I'm not really sure.
Well, they investigated. They asked them all. So I thought there was going to be a culprit. And I was with Sarah where I was like, it's got to be Chad. It's got to be Chad because he had his candy. He had a sugar high. They probably set him up to it. You can keep the candy. Maybe you can only have it for a couple hours, but now you can keep it the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So there has to be a reason. And we never found out, right?
We never got it. So was somebody even the culprit and then they just cut it out and did show us, or was this all just
it was weird
for shits and giggles?
Yeah, I think it was maybe shits and giggles.
Okay, cute stuff with BB messing with Kieran and Sophie in the white room. They're kind of losing it.
Maybe they kissed.
Oh, okay. Sarah says for Sophie's legacy, she can't let 3 dudes make it to final 3. And I'm like, get it, girl.
It's too late. It's too late. I can't even get excited about this. It's too late. You haven't been playing the game. You've been playing The Bachelor, and I'm over it. It's too late.
Wait, Sarah?
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about Sophie because I was thinking about
Sarah said because of Sophie, she can't let 3 dudes.
Apologies. I'm just mad at Sophie.
Yeah.
It's not too late for Sarah. No, it is not at all too late for Sarah. But when Sophie was talking that big revenge, I need to get back in this game. Okay, let's just put it on the table. Let's be real. And I know sometimes I like to, keep it real when people are like, that's not real, Joleen. You're just making that up. Much I am. But I think that she doesn't want to get these dudes back. She wants to get back with Chad. This is the one time in your life that is just you and him. There's no Instagram. There's no girls hitting him up in the DMs. It's just these two. And her game has been Chad. She wants to get back to the Chad. She misses the abs. She was seeing things in the white room. It was Chad's abs. She just saw his abs going everywhere. So miss me with that. I got to get my revenge. This new storyline. Oh my gosh. Go Sarah, because
no, I give Sophie just a smidge more. I mean, yeah, she made some stupid moves. She not voting Matt out. That was your first bad move. You might have been a bit blinded by a boy, but hey, if you are gonna get all worked up for revenge, then I'm on board. I want to see a game. So
it's too late. It's just, for me, it's too late. And she voted out other women when she could have worked with them, like Casey's and stuff. They had this weird rivalry and competitiveness, and only one girl can be with the guys. It's a no for me, Sarah. It's a no.
It's a hard pass from Joleen.
It's too late. It's go Sarah and go Dan and whatever his name is, Matt. Chad, bye. Sophie, bye. Go get married, have some babies. And this isn't The Bachelor. I hate when they cast like this. They do it in the US too, but they're these two.
Do it 5 times more in the US. We'd have 6 showmances out of 20 people.
Exactly. I wanted Kieran to come back. I feel like I was way more on Kieran, at least was way more in the game, but I'm happy for what happened to him.
Yeah.
He said I got to leave on my own terms, but Sophie, no.
Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry.
Line. If she wins, I'm going to be like,
oh, shoot. Oh, no. All right. Well, first we have a shopping task. They have to stand on a target for an hour, and they have to basically volley back a ball that's coming at them with a tennis racket. And Chad is horrible.
What? Did he know where he was?
He didn't. He was like, what is this thing? He was swatting it like a fly. It was not working. But Sarah got real into it. She did well. Good. Matt did great. Dan does well. They get $490 in shopping money, which also purchased calls home for them, which was super cute. The only one we see is Sarah and her mom, because Sarah's the only adorable one there.
And it was so sweet. She's like, Mom, did you hear Big Brother? And her mom's like, what? That would be my mom. What? No,
I love that her mom said, are you making friends? That was such a mom thing.
Right? Because, literally, she's only 19. And she goes, I just graduated high school last year. It just made me love her even more. So go, Sarah. I hope you have a big upset in that house. She's doing awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so they start to play a challenge, but Big Brother tells us this is not for noms. This person does not get to put people up for eviction, but they will get an advantage that they will find out about later. And we are shooting balls into someone's tube. We've seen this on BBUS, where you get to target someone else. Mm-hmm. So they first go to Chad. They take Chad out. Chad can't figure out how to use this thing.
Do your Chad impression at this moment, because he was like, me?
Why are you targeting me? You're targeting me? Yeah, a little bit like that. Mm-hmm.
But I'm hot. He was so of course they're targeting you, dude. They're together. Yes. They're a showmance. They're the bromance. What's wrong with you?
No, I honestly was like, why wouldn't Matt and Dan target Sarah first just to keep playing into that role? But they were like, nah, we don't really need to keep acting.
Nah.
We'll just get Chad out. So they do. They team up on Chad and get him out. And then Sarah still hasn't figured out how to shoot a ball yet. So they easily get her out. Yeah, she was like, ah.
I feel like that would be me because that's a
Yeah.
lot of weird coordination you have to like flick the no.
And probably like upper body strength. I have none of that. I
Yeah,
can't.
and she's going up against a professional athlete being Dan. I mean, it's yeah. I wish they would have been doing something else that was more suited to her strengths. You know, that would have been awesome.
That'd have been cute. But honestly, this advantage doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
And it comes down, Matt and Dan are like back and forth. And Matt just happens to eliminate Dan, even though Dan had been the better like ball shooter. But Matt takes out Dan, so he's got this secret advantage that we'll find out about later. But first, they get to get dressed up for a soiree or a soirees, I believe Sarah was calling it.
Yeah, what did she call it? Soiree.
Soirees, like just throwing an S on the end.
Whatever. Do you remember like 19? Like I didn't know any. Like what? I barely. Yeah, I'm still struggling to give a sentence that makes sense at times.
I still don't. I went to Florida public school. I don't know words. So they are literally popping champs, and an image of the White Room pops up, and they're like, "What?" And they see Kieran and Sophie half crazy in a room with two red buzzers, and Sophie and Kieran can't see or hear them, but the house just watches it all go down. And this is when things get real dramatic because we learn that, Sonia hosts it, she appears, and a money thing is going to start like adding up.
Mm-hmm.
You have 1 minute.
Cool twist. Such a cool. I know that some people think it's unfair, but if you're going to have this twist, cool. Because if you do it right, one can go back in the game and one can get some cash and go home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because you're really like, who's here for the money? Like, who is here? Like, whose game? Is it worth it? It really does make you think and consider at this point. Mm-hmm. If neither one was going to go for the money and they both are standing there at the end of it, then Matt would have chosen, Kieran. Which is well, yes. That is an interesting advantage to have. And he has an obvious which way to go.
Yeah, and you have these two people who have now had a lot of time to bond and connect. And so I felt like there was a level of trust now between Sophie and Kieran where she was like, here's the thing, I want back in. And he was like, all right, yeah. And he's already built up this revenge story. And so Kieran's like, well, I want some cash and I got to get home. I'm proud. I know how to use a dishwasher now. I got to tell my mom. And so then he timed it pretty well. I think I would stop at that. But I
was like, immediately, I even started counting as I was watching. I was like, as soon as it goes, you just start counting because you're going to go faster than an actual clock. So once you hit 60, just hit that button because you'll be like a few seconds before. That would be my strategy. Kieran didn't do it. And instead, he's like, how long do you think it's been? And I'd be like, I'm trying to count, Kieran.
He totally said that. He totally did that. I wonder though if anyone, I know this is a weird question, but what is the tax situation with that? Like if you take, cause I was like 15 grand. Okay. Like in the US, I feel like they take half of that on a prize win.
It's not, honestly, if you take less than 10, I don't think you get taxed in the US.
Oh, like
a winning
you can
gift.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can gift under 10,000, but I don't know about a winning and maybe that is different.
Because I was hoping he's not going to face like heavy taxation on that. Because that's a good chunk of change to take away.
It is. Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be smaller than the tax on 250,000. So
true, and it took out of the 250,000. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was like, hey Matt, your 250 is going to be a little short, a little.
Australia must have been so happy if they're hating Matt and Dan like you say they are. They must have loved to see the money get taken and then Sophie come back in the game.
Yes. So Kieran is like so excited. He takes the money. He stops it at 15,000, like probably right before a minute is up. I don't know how he figured that out because he seemed like he didn't understand time. And like Chad is like melting down. Sophie is melting down. Sarah's super excited. And Dan and Matt are just boiling over on the couch together. They are so not happy with this.
They're having fits. Like Matt was like, ugh, like through and then took his clothes off. He was so mad he had to put his workout clothes on. He's like, I gotta go do some sit-ups. Like Matt was mad. And then Dan was like, this is it. He's sitting on the ground with his long legs, and there's like, this is
Yeah.
unfair.
They
And
both go to the diary room to complain.
yes. I mean, that was entertaining to see these guys who have kept it cool and strategic now to freak out. But it did surprise me they were that surprised because they saw the Angela thing, and Big Brother in Australia, is it still expect the unexpected?
I mean, they don't say it
But
basically. I mean, I think it's we got twists, I think is what they're saying.
and
Hey,
if
we're going to twist it up.
yeah, and if they've had this white room thing before, if they've watched and are a fan, you'd think they would be
here's
ready.
what I'll say. As a Big Brother fan, look, we have mixed views. There's a ton of Big Brother fans who are purists and they don't like twists at all. I'm all for a twist, but I do feel like there comes a time, and I don't typically like to see twists after Final 5, Final 4. Like
That's
I feel
rough.
like this is super late in the game to throw in a twist. So I love this twist, but I would just do evictions before. I feel like before Final 6.
Yeah.
Would make me more comfortable.
You're right. It is. Some twists are just, I think the US is just going over and above the last how many ever years with these twists and these themes. And it's like, can we get it a little back to basics, a little back to the season 10 simplicity of the game? But yeah, I see what you're saying, Sarah. That it is frustrating. Once you get to that point, like a Final 5 or whatever, it's like, okay, no more people can come back.
Yeah, it's really risking Matt and Dan's game, which we've kind of been like, they're actually playing the game and they've set themselves up in this great position. So, I mean, I'm so excited Sophie's back for revenge. Like, I do want to see how that plays out. But I also feel like, whoops, Matt and Dan just got screwed. So back to Matt and Dan, I'll show you hating them and think they're bullies. They are now, what I read, Australia is upset with Matt and Dan's behavior. The fact that they like threw fits and are upset about this.
Australians,
they're like, that's trash. Get them out.
They would hate to watch BBUS because, yeah, is it bad sportsmanship? Yeah, but you're also locked in a house, and it's not like they went up and threatened anybody, and it's not like they went and broke shit. They just went and complained, and I'm sure that happens a lot throughout Big Brother. I feel maybe it's just because I'm so desensitized to this kind of stuff after years and years of watching US Big Brother and nothing happening to these dirt balls, where I'm like, Matt, and also we're not seeing feeds. Maybe if I saw feeds, I would dislike Matt and Dan. I know I dislike Dan. I just have this feeling I would dislike Dan. He gives off a very yuck vibe. He does. You know, he's like that cocky jockey guy. But
I think he's hilarious.
I don't think he's funny. I think he snores. I don't think it's funny. The funniest thing he does is snort. Like, that's it. Which is the serious condition I had that same problem, and he should probably get a I forgot, a deviated septum, something like that, Dan.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's funny. Yeah, but I don't think they deserve to be hated. It's so strange to me.
It is, but yeah, we're obviously different countries. I honestly, if I were in that house and I had played that game and then BB put in a twist that messed up my game, I would absolutely throw a fit privately like that. I would storm into the diary room and I would be like, "Roar!" You know, not to Sophie's face, not to Chad's face.
Sarah, you would be so classy about it. You'd be like,
yeah, publicly.
Excuse me.
But I would be, I would be so mad. Like, if you're playing that hard for 30-some days and your game gets messed up like that,
no,
it's rough.
totally.
I can't fault them for being upset.
I can empathize with, you being upset getting that far in the game. But I was just thinking, because I'm looking in the chat here, and some people are saying that like Young Movie Review says, we don't like any sign of drama queens. And there's a lot of Big Brother episodes says there's a lot of context we're not getting in the edit, stuff like that. And I feel like it is a cultural thing, because if you look at the state of the United States right now, we're constantly inundated with videos of these crazy big babies who are like, I'm not wearing a mask, and like taking their underwear off and putting it on their face. And someone asked them, I just saw that video. I was like, really, ladies? And people like sitting on the ground and assaulting minimum wage workers. So for me, Matt and Dan look like freaking angels compared to the Karens that are taking over
Are
the
literally
US.
on our streets. Yes.
Yeah, the Karens and the Kevins who are just like, I gotta wear a mask, stay in your house. It's like, what is wrong? So maybe that's why I'm desensitized. It's such a strange time.
It is. But they did hear, so when Kieran takes the money and Sophie, I also like that they kind of work together. Like Kieran's like, are you going to take any money? And she's like, no, like she literally put her hands behind her and she's like, I'm going in the game. And so I kind of liked that vibe that Kieran's like, cool, I want the money. And so he goes out, he gives her a big hug and he's like, get on back for screwing you over. Not knowing who's listening to that, but Matt and Dan just sat there and heard him say that to her. So like that's just like salt in the wound. They're like, oh crap, we screwed her over. She's coming back in. And he just told her to come after us. Like we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And they are.
Maybe. No. I'm so adamant about this, Sarah. And it's just like, I just don't think anything I don't think she's going to do anything. I think maybe if production has a hand in it, but it's going to be hard for me to believe. And Chad's still going to be like, yeah, well, I mean, I guess we could just like play it cool until the end and see what they do first. Like, it's just, it's just too late, Sophie. You didn't get screwed. You screwed yourself. Like she literally screwed herself in this game. That's all she did. She didn't trust her instincts and she let her bachelor showmance lead her way.
Well, Shafika is reminding us that it all depends on who wins next. And I agree because Sophie has a really good chance of winning. Of course, Matt and Dan are going to be going all out to win as well. Now we have 3 more episodes. We have a week of finale and we have 5 players. So I'm not really sure how finals go down for BB Australia. And then there's a vote in there at some point when they hit final 3. I also saw that the housemates are arriving in Sydney. So there's going to be some sort of gathering for this live.
Oh, wow.
Or I don't know if it's live. I think they're all live, but this like vote / winner. So, yeah, I don't know how it goes down, but I'm excited to see it because I like all 5 of these people. I think all 5 of them are fun.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, be introduced to this new world of BB Australia. Sarah and I, it's our first time watching it. So it's really cool to see. I love seeing how different countries do it. And I know you guys, some of you have watched Australia for a long time and then it went off air and then it came back. But I think it's been very entertaining. And I know this is a highly edited season, but it's been really entertaining for me.
It's been, oh my God, it's been so entertaining. I love it. I look forward to watching each episode. I have enjoyed this season so much. I've enjoyed this cast. I really feel like Talia was the only one who I didn't like.
She was a real stinker.
Yeah. And even though some people played more than others, I still enjoyed the dynamics. I don't know. Okay. So, so it's a live finale on Wednesday, but evictions on Monday and Tuesday.
So can we watch it live or we have to wait, even if we're on the website? Like
we can watch it live at 2 a.m.
I'll be up, so I might watch it live.
Yeah. I think it's 2 a.m. our time. So yeah, we could. If
that might be kind of fun.
See if we can do it.
We can stay up.
So it would be it's Wednesday 2 a.m. for us if it's Wednesday night Australia.
Okay, so Wednesday, because it'll be their nighttime, our 2 a.m. Okay.
Yeah. We're early morning when it's their nighttime.
Time zones. So fun.
Time zones. What? Other countries? What?
And I love that people know, like, can give us context and let us know what's going on, of how the game works and stuff. So that's super cool.
I know, right? We super appreciate the Australians who have tuned in to us because I don't even know what time it is for you guys right now, but we appreciate you guys helping us out.
Just having a big brother is just so, I wish there was I wish every country would get on the same page. UK would bring it back. Australia's back now. US, I know we're dealing with Rona, so it's, a different times. But when we're to our new normal, whatever that is, then they always air one no matter what. And Canada got it, then US, then Australia, then so we're always fed our Big Brother medicine.
And we do know that Big Brother Canada has been picked up.
And Arissa became the executive producer.
Yes, good call. Canada, way to go.
Arissa is just such an involved host compared to like Joleen. Now that it's just like, it's crazy. I'm so proud of her. Like she's amazing. I
really enjoy her. So very happy about that. I don't know when they would be able to start shooting their show. They usually do it in the beginning of the year, right? So hopefully by then
they do it. Yeah, they'll have it. And then it's in the spring. Sarah, some people mentioned in the chat, and I talked about this with Miranda, but what did you think about all the breakups? You have the Jackson and the Holly Beth, first of all.
How were they still together?
Well, quarantine. They couldn't go anywhere. And then once it opened up, he went to Las Vegas with 3 other wieners, and now they're just doing gross stuff.
Yeah, and Holly, that was a poor choice to begin with. Why you let it last that long, I'm not sure.
Apparently Holly Beth and her dog Jackson, which has always been the better Jackson, they're homeless. So I think she's at the ranch.
Yeah. Yeah. Go back to Wyoming, honey. Just take a minute in Wyoming.
Apparently there was a big situation with she and Kat a little while back when Kat came to visit when she was still dating Nick. And Holly Beth kicked her out because she thought Jackson and Kat were doing something. So it's always been a really healthy relationship. And then she had a podcast to say not nice things about Kat and her game.
Okay. Well, we all liked Kat more than you. Sorry.
Yeah, we did.
At least Kat could see what Jackson was doing.
Yeah, we did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so worried about Holly's mental health.
No, it's like, it's not good.
I remember being worried about her during the summer. I was like, I'm watching an abused woman in an abusive relationship, and like, ugh, it's gross.
Can you imagine then what it's like without the cameras? You know what I mean? Like, it's very scary, obviously, for her. Also, on a little brighter note, because they weren't as dysfunctional of a relationship, Fessy and Haley broke up after 2 years, and Haley put out the standard, we love each other. Thank you for being our fans, but we're going in different directions.
You guys, how were they still together too? This shocks me when I hear people broke up, and I'm like, how were they still together?
Well, Angela, they're practically married. They got a whole nice house in Hilton Head. And, but I can see that though. I can see them lasting the long run. I really can.
With Tyler and Angela?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. No, I think Tyler and Angela are like Jeff and Jordan and
very similar.
Rachel and Brandon. Like, I feel like they're just like, oh yeah, we're together. But like Haley and Fessy, I like both of them separately, but together, I just didn't think they had anything in common. That one shocked me.
Yeah, and Haley, I think, was like, no. And then she gave in, and then Fessy, whatever, they had their thing. And then Fessy went on the challenge, and I think that probably gave him some more confidence. Because the challenge, like Holly Beth said, is known for people. I mean, I didn't see him do anything bad, but again, that's the editing, if they choose to show us if he did. But he was partying in Miami with the challenge people, and Haley was not there because she's like studying. I think she wants a real life. She doesn't want to be a reality star her whole life. I think she wants an education and stuff.
And she's a student, so get that degree, live your life, girl.
I know. So big breakups. I mean, it's been such a tumultuous, hard week.
Hard time in the world. So any relationship who makes it through this. Yeah. I honestly, side note, this is not Big Brother, but I keep just being so grateful that I chose to be with Douglas.
Right?
Like a lockdown, a quarantine will just either make it or break it. You know what I mean? It
will definitely make you or break you. And that's exactly how I feel about Chal. It's like we can tolerate each other through a pandemic and come out of this like stronger. Yeah. You pick the right person. But it's not easy to be with anyone.
Never is. No.
Yeah, but yeah.
Cohabitating is hard. Okay, well, enough about that. Yay, Big Brother!
Yay, I want Sarah to talk about gossip. Yes.
I did a little bit. I will.
You acted interested. That was good.
I get like, I'm like, oh my God, they broke up, or oh my God, they're together. And I'm just like, wait, what?
I want to shit talk. And Sarah's like, okay, we'll move on.
And then I'm over it real quick. I'm like, cool, bye. Yes. So we are still hoping for BB22 US, but who knows? And then BB Australia wraps up next week. Oh my God, that means we won't have Big Brother for a minute.
I can't. And then we got the news about Survivor. That was too much.
Too much. No Survivor. Well, at least we know we will have an amazing race. That we know, because that's already shot and edited. So.
Okay, so that'll come out in the fall?
Yeah.
Good.
That's all we definitely have.
Okay, got AR.
And we still, thank you, Shafika. We still have BB7 over here on Nerdtainment.
Yeah.
We're still watching that. We're watching Survivor Heroes versus Villains over on Patreon. So we're still trying to keep it up. Also, Joleen and I have a podcast called Good Pop, where we talk about entertainment news and positive good news on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Pacific over on Joleen's channel. So join us for that sometime.
Yeah, you can watch me try to make Sarah cry, but then I end up crying.
It's really all her. She just does the crying.
I did.
All right, you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining us in the chat. And if you're watching this later, leave us a comment. Let us know who you want to win, who you want the final 3 to be.
Go Sarah.
Little Sarah.
Little Sarah.
Okay,
and
bye.
Littler Sarah and little Sarah.
Little
Okay,
Sarah,
never mind.
little.
All right, bye.
Bye. Bye.